You woke up today. That wasn't a coincidence. That was purpose pulling you out of sleep. That was God shaking your spirit and saying, you've still got work to do. Every day you rise, there's a war going on, not out there, in here, inside of you. A war between who you are and who you're called to be, between your doubts and your destiny, between your excuses and your execution. So many of us walk around with invisible scars, smiling on the outside, bleeding on the inside. But let me tell you something, you are not your wounds. You are not your past. You are not what they did to you. You are what you choose to become. And every single day, the words you say to yourself, they shape you, they mold you, they either build your fire or bury your flame. That's why this isn't just motivation, this is a resurrection. These are the 9 things you must tell yourself every single day to survive this life, to walk into your calling, to silence the noise of doubt, and finally hear the sound of your own greatness. I'm still here, and that means something. There were nights you didn't think you'd make it. Nights you were surrounded by people and still felt alone. Nights where the weight of your silence was louder than any scream. Nights when the pain wrapped around you like a second skin and you wondered, will I ever feel joy again? But you're still here. You didn't quit. You didn't give up. You're breathing, and every breath is a testimony that the darkness didn't win. That matters. You see, we don't give enough credit to survival. In a world obsessed with success, people forget that survival is success when you're carrying trauma, grief, anxiety, pressure, generational pain. You got out of bed when your soul begged you not to. You smiled when your heart was breaking. You encouraged others while you were starving for encouragement yourself. That's not weakness. That's warriorhood. You are still here. And that means your story's not over. It means there's more inside you. It means you still have something to say, something to build, something to become. Every morning, I want you to look in the mirror and tell yourself, I am still here. I have survived everything that tried to destroy me, and I'm not done. Not yet, not now. Because the enemy didn't want you to make it this far, but you did. Now go show the world why you're still breathing. My struggle is preparing me for strength. The pain is a brutal teacher. It doesn't ask permission. It doesn't wait until you're ready. It shows up uninvited, unapologetic, and flips your world upside down. But what if I told you pain has a purpose? See, life doesn't give you strength. It tests you until you discover the strength that was already in you. The struggle, the one you wish you never went through. It's the very thing that's building you from the inside out. Every sleepless night, every betrayal, every silent tear you cried into your pillow when nobody was watching, that wasn't wasted. It was shaping you, because strength isn't built in comfort. Character isn't born in convenience. Warriors are not made on mountaintops. They're forged in valleys. So don't curse the battle. Learn from it. Don't run from the fire. Stand in it. Let it burn away who you're not, so you can become who you truly are. Let me tell you something the world won't. Your scars are sacred. They're not signs of weakness. They're proof you fought and survived. Every time life knocked you down and you got back up, something was happening. Something unseen, something eternal. Your spirit was growing teeth. Your soul was growing arms. You were being prepared for something greater than your pain, because God never wastes a wound. Let that sink in. He doesn't allow you to suffer unless he intends to use that suffering to launch you into something higher. Every pressure you felt, it's been preparing you for promotion. Every heartbreak sharpening your empathy, every setback rewiring your perspective. So when you look in the mirror tomorrow morning, or the next time the weight feels too heavy, whisper these words to your reflection. My struggle is not punishment, it is preparation. This pain is not the end, it's the passage. I'm not breaking down, I'm breaking through. Say it again, I'm not breaking down, I'm breaking through. Because a seed has to be buried before it blooms. Gold has to be melted before it shines. And you've been buried in pain, burned in trials, but baby, you're rising in purpose. That's why it hurts, that's why it's lonely, that's why it's hard. Not because you're weak, but because you're chosen. And the chosen ones, they don't live easy lives, they live meaningful ones. So next time you're going through it, next time you feel like it's too much, don't ask a why me. Ask, what is this preparing me for? Because you're not just going through this, you're growing through this. You're not a victim of pain, you're a vessel of purpose. So let the tears fall, let the anger out. But never, ever forget your struggle is shaping something sacred inside you. It's It's writing a testimony that will save lives. It's carving out a strength that's unshakable. So walk through the fire like you own it. Because in the end, you won't come out burned. You'll come out branded. Marked by the pain, but defined by the power it gave you. I am not what I feel. I am what I choose to believe. Your feelings, they're loud. They're real. They scream at you when no one else is speaking. But feelings, they lie. They tell you you're not good enough. You'll never make it. And no one sees you. No one needs you. If you're not careful, you'll start to believe the storm inside you is more real than the light within you. But I need you to understand something that may just save your soul. You are not your feelings. You are not your emotions. You are what you choose to believe in the face of them. Because feelings come and go like waves, but belief plants roots. And when the winds rise, when the nights are long, when your mind is spinning with thoughts that threaten to break you, your belief is the only thing that will keep you standing. Let me say this plain and powerful. You don't feel strong. Believe you are. You don't feel loved. Believe you are. You don't feel like you can go on. Believe that you can. Because feelings are not facts. Emotions are not evidence. Your mind may be tired, but your spirit is still undefeated. How many dreams have died because someone felt unworthy and believed the lie? How many hearts have broken because someone felt alone and didn't know they were chosen? You see, the enemy doesn't have to kill you. He just has to convince you that you're already dead inside. And he does it with thoughts, with moods, with moments of silence when God seems far. But even in those silent hours, belief is your weapon. So when depression knocks and anxiety rises and everything in you is screaming to give up, you stand tall and say, I choose to believe, not in what I feel. In what I know, I am called, I am equipped, I am loved, I am worthy, and I will not bow to a feeling that came to destroy me. Let them think you're crazy for talking to yourself. Let them mock your affirmations because they don't know the battle happening inside you. They don't know how close you were to the edge. They don't know the war you fight in silence just to get out of bed. But belief, real belief, turns the broken into builders. It turns the forgotten into forces of light. It turns the weak into warriors. So speak to yourself like your life depends on it, because it does. Every day, look yourself in the eye and say, I am not my fear. I am not my sadness. I am not my loneliness. I am the fire that refuses to go out. I am the truth in the middle of every lie. Because your belief will outlive your feelings. And your purpose is stronger than your pain. You are not what they said. You are not what the world labeled you. You are what you decide you are. And the moment you believe that, everything changes. My past does not define my power. There are moments in your life you don't talk about. Moments that still haunt you. Things you've done, things you've endured, things you wish you could erase. You think about them late at night. And sometimes they whisper in your ear like a ghost saying, well, you're too broken to be blessed. You're too messed up to be used. Your past is too dirty for your future to be holy. But let me tell you something, and I want you to hear it in your bones. Your past is a chapter, not the conclusion. It's part of the story, but it's not the whole book. The scars, they are real. But they are not signs of your failure. They are signs that you survived. You are not defined by what you did. You are refined by what you've been through. See, the world loves to label people. They'll call you by your worst mistake and forget your greatest effort. But God calls you by your name. He calls you by your potential, not your prison. You're not what you did when you were lost. You're not what happened when you were hurting. You are who you're becoming now that you've awakened. Because let's be real, some of the strongest people you've ever seen, they were once broken beyond belief, but they decided to stop letting their past be the script, and they became the author of a new one. They didn't deny what happened, they just didn't let it own them. And neither should you. Yes, you've made mistakes. Yes, you've been through hell. What? But listen to me, your past is the soil that grew your power. Your pain is the fire that purified your soul, and your mess is the reason someone else is going to be free. You've been through things most people wouldn't survive, and yet you're still standing. Bruised, yes. Battered, absolutely. But buried, never. So the next time your memories rise up and try to pull you under, you look them dead in the face and say, you don't control me anymore. I'm not running from you. I'm rising because of you. You're not too far gone. You're not too late. You're not too messed up. In fact, you're just now becoming dangerous to the very darkness that tried to drown you. So remind yourself every single day, I am not my worst moment. I am not my shame. I am not who I used to be. I am who I fought to become. And that is power. Because the devil wants you stuck in the past. Why? Because he's terrified of what's ahead of you. But guess what? You've already been through the storm. Now it's time to become the thunder. Let the world talk. Let your past scream. But you walk forward with fire in your chest and say, I've been through it all, and I'm still here. That's not weakness. That's divine strength. I am not alone, even when I feel abandoned. There's a silence that hits different when you're surrounded by people but feel invisible. When the room is full but your heart feels empty. When the phone doesn't ring. When nobody checks in. When your mind whispers, I forgot you. No one sees you. You're alone in this. And that lie, it's heavy. It wraps around your spirit like a blanket soaked in grief. It starts to convince you that your presence doesn't matter. But listen to me, you are never truly alone. Not in your tears, not in your breakdowns, not in those nights where your pillow caught the pain no one else knew about. Because even when people vanish, purpose remains. Even when friends turn cold, God stays warm. Even when the world walks away, your calling does not leave you. Let me tell you something raw and true. Sometimes God will allow isolation so you can finally hear his voice instead of theirs. Sometimes he removes everyone you lean on so you can learn to lean on him. That pain you're feeling, that hollow silence, it's not punishment. It's preparation. Because when you're alone, truly alone, that's when he begins to whisper. You don't need their approval. You don't need their applause. You don't need their validation. I've been with you the whole time. And let's be honest, there were moments you were drowning in pain and somehow you made it through. That wasn't an accident. That was presence. That was divine strength wrapped in invisible arms holding you when no one else did. So the next time you feel forgotten, the next time the silence gets so loud it hurts, tell yourself, I am not alone. I am loved in the unseen. I am carried by something greater than people. And even when everyone leaves, my purpose stays. Say it out loud. Even when I feel abandoned, I am never alone. Because loneliness lies, but destiny speaks. And right now, even in your quietest nights, he's still writing your story. He's still walking beside you. He's still preparing a future that no amount of abandonment can cancel. Let this truth rest in your chest. My isolation is not the end. It's the incubation for something bigger. I'm not forgotten. I'm being forged. And sometimes God hides you because what he's building in you is too sacred for careless hands. So when they leave, let them. When they ghost you, bless them. When the room empties, stand tall in the silence. Because what's coming next, you're gonna need that strength. You're gonna need that solitude. And when you rise, you'll know who truly stood with you, and more importantly, that you stood with you. You made it through your own darkness. You carried yourself home. I wasn't meant to fit in. I was born to stand out. You've always felt it, haven't you? That strange distance between you and them. Like you were speaking a language no one else could hear. Like your soul was dressed in something heavier than the world knew how to carry. You tried to blend in. You lowered your voice. You shrank your spirit. You dimmed your light just to make other people comfortable. And what did it get you? More rejection, more misunderstanding, more isolation. But maybe, just maybe, you didn't fit in because you weren't supposed to. You weren't rejected. You were redirected. You weren't born to conform. You were born to create. See, ordinary was never meant for you. You were never meant to be average, never meant to be in the background. Never meant to walk the same line as everyone else. You were designed from the very beginning to disrupt the pattern, to shift the room, to carry a calling too big for crowds to understand. Let me tell you something that might just set your soul on fire. You are different, and that is divine. Your voice is louder because it was meant to echo. Your heart feels deeper because it was meant to heal. Your energy moves people because it was meant to lead. The world tries to tame people like you. They label you a too much, too passionate, too intense, too emotional, too focused. But what they call a too much, God calls exactly enough. And every day you try to fit into a box you were never designed for, you kill a piece of your fire. So stop apologizing for your design. Stop explaining your vision to people who weren't given your eye. You were built different because you were built for different things. That ache in your chest, That burning in your gut when you're around mediocrity, that's your soul refusing to be silenced. So I want you to say this out loud, even if your voice shakes. I am not weird, I am woven with wonder. I am not misplaced, I am marked with purpose. I am not too much, I am more than enough. I was not meant to fit in because I was born to stand out. You are the spark in a world soaked in fear. You are the color in a canvas of gray. You are the voice for the ones still finding theirs. They won't always understand you, that's okay. They won't always accept you, that's expected. But one day they'll thank you for never breaking, because the same people who mock you today will marvel at you tomorrow. So hold your head high, walk with your fire, speak with your truth, because if God made you different, he made you dangerous to the darkness. And the world doesn't need more people who fit in. It needs more people like you, people who refuse to be anyone but who they truly are. Everything I need is already inside me. You keep searching outside for what's already buried within. You chase approval, attention, applause. You think success lives in someone else's hands, that you'll be enough when they say you are, when they validate you, when they finally see you. But let me tell you something that will set you free. You don't need more. You don't need to be fixed. You don't need their permission. You were born with everything you need. You don't need a perfect background. You don't need a long resume. You don't need a crowd. All you need is already inside you. That fire you feel, that ache to become more, that whisper in your soul that says there's something greater in me. That's truth. That's the voice of your calling. That's purpose reminding you. You were never ordinary. You were chosen, and what's been placed in you. No one can steal. No one can copy. No one can cancel. But here's the thing, you've got to believe it. You've got to dig through the rubble of insecurity, fear, trauma, rejection, and uncover what's always been yours. Confidence isn't something you find. It's something you remember. You were born with strength. You were born with vision. You were born with the divine fingerprints of greatness all over your DNA. You don't need them to see it. You need to see it. Because here's what they never told you. The gift is not out there. The breakthrough is not in their hands. The answer is not behind some door only the worthy can open. It's inside you. It always has been. So every time you start to doubt yourself, every time the world makes you feel small, every time fear tells you you're not ready, stand tall. Put your hand on your heart and declare this to your soul. I already have what it takes. I already carry the power. I already walk with greatness, and I don't need the world to hand me anything because I was born with everything. You see, what's inside you is not weak. It's not average. It's eternal. And when you stop searching, when you stop begging, when you stop comparing, you finally awaken the warrior that's been sleeping. It's not about becoming something. It's about remembering who you were before the world told you to doubt it. You've got wisdom in your bones, fire in your chest, light in your blood, heaven in your breath. So stop waiting, stop hesitating, stop wondering if you're enough. You are. Say it now. Everything I need is already inside me, and say it again till your doubt dies. Because the most dangerous thing in this world is a soul that finally believes in itself. Every setback is a setup for my next level. You had plans, you had a vision, a direction, and life came in like a wrecking ball and shattered it. The opportunity fell through. The person walked away. The door slammed in your face, and in that moment you thought it was over. You thought, this must be a sign I'm not meant to win. You thought, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe God changed his mind. But what if that wasn't rejection? What if it was redirection? What if your setback was not the end of your story, but the beginning of a better one? Because here's the truth they don't teach you in schools or success books. Every fall, every failure, every loss that left you crying in silence was a setup, a divine strategic setup for your next level. You see, God doesn't elevate people who are unprepared. He doesn't promote the comfortable. He promotes the refined. And do you know where refining happens? In the fire, in the struggle, in the moments where everything breaks, so you can discover the parts of yourself that cannot be broken. That delay, it protected you. That detour, it developed you. That heartbreak, it hardened your spirit in the best way, not bitter, battle-tested. Because if you got everything you wanted when you wanted it, you would have never become who you're becoming. So I want you to flip the script. Start seeing your pain as preparation. Start seeing your rejection as redirection. Start seeing your delay as divine. Say this out loud, not because it's cute, but because it's true. Every setback is a setup. Every fall is fuel. Every loss is lifting me higher. Because what you call a failure, God calls a foundation. You're not going backward. You're being launched forward. That's why the pressure increased. That's why the enemy attacked harder. That's why everything seemed to fall apart right before your breakthrough. You're not being buried. You're being planted. And when the time is right, you'll rise stronger, wiser, unstoppable. You'll look back on the nights you cried yourself to sleep and realize they were birth pains, not signs of death, but signs of life coming to full bloom. So the next time life knocks you flat, don't say, "Why me?" Say, "This is the setup. This is the chapter where I rise. This is the part where I don't quit, because the next level is being built beneath my feet." You are not done. You are not disqualified. You are not forgotten. You are being positioned, so stop looking at what you lost and start preparing for what's about to come. Because your setback isn't the end, it's the launch pad. I was made for this. You've questioned yourself for too long. Am I strong enough? Am I worthy? Do I really have what it takes? What if I fail? What if I'm not chosen? But I need you to hear me now, not just with your ears, but with your spirit. You were made for this, not by accident, not by luck, not by coincidence, but by divine design. Before the pain, before the rejection, before the trauma, before they broke your heart and buried your name, there was a blueprint, and your name was already on it. You were formed in the fire, carved by struggle, raised by storms, shaped by silence, and still you rose. You weren't made to break. You weren't made to quit. You weren't made to blend in. You were made to stand when others fall, to speak when others go silent, to rise when others disappear. Every battle you faced, it wasn't just random. It was training for the moment you'd realize you were made for this. You were made to lead, made to love, made to break generational chains, made to walk through fire without the smell of smoke, made to rise up and carry others who forgot how to walk. You are the answer to a problem in this world. You are the light in someone else's night. You are the healing someone's been praying for. You're not here just to exist. You're here to impact. And deep down, you know it. That ache in your chest, that restlessness in your bones, that feeling that you were born for something more, it's not your imagination. It's purpose knocking on the walls of your soul, saying, "Hey, get up. You're needed. You've been prepared. Now step into the fire because you were made to carry it." Say it with me now. I was made for this, for the weight, for the war, for the mission. I was made to overcome. I was made to rise. I was made to lead. I was made for this. You don't need to feel ready. You don't need the perfect moment. You don't need the full plan. All you need is the decision to believe that this pain has a purpose and your life has a calling. Because when life hits, when hell breaks loose, when everything seems like it's falling apart, you'll have one truth that never shakes. I was made for this. And when the world forgets who you are, you remind them. When your enemies doubt you, rise above them. When your past tries to define you, you outgrow it. Because no matter how hard it gets, no matter how lonely it feels, no matter how long the night is, you were built for this battle and you will not break. You will blaze. You were made for this. So tomorrow morning, when the world wakes up cold and the weight of life hits your chest like a stone, don't fold. Don't hide. Don't run. Stand up. Look in the mirror. And speak these 9 truths into your reflection like a warrior returning to battle. 1, I am still here, and that means something. 2, my struggle is preparing me for strength. 3, I am not what I feel. I am what I choose to believe. 4, my past does not define my power. 5, I am not alone even when I feel abandoned. 6, I wasn't meant to fit in. I was born to stand out. 7, everything I need is already inside me. 8, every setback is a setup for my next level. 9, I was made for this. Say them every day, burn them into your soul, and walk through this world like someone who knows the truth of who they are. Because the world needs your light, your voice, your story, your fire. And if no one told you today, we're waiting on you. Don't give up. Don't hold back. Don't doubt it. You were made for this. And now it's your time.